So you've worked with so many founders. What are some of the most common mistakes you see first-time founders make?
It was the same sort of like 10 years ago, and it's the same, literally the same now. It's spending loads of money on a brand up front before you built a product.
With something that looks sexy.
Something that looks amazing. Founders are like, because and often a lot of the founders that we work with, they're non-tech. What they can control is what something looks like. And that's just, it's really not important once you're trying to build the business and you're trying to work out whether there's actually a company there or not. You know, it should be super scrappy at the start. You should spend as little money as possible. If you look at like some of the first versions of some of the biggest companies in the world now, they're, you know, the difference is enormous. So when a founder sort of says, I've spent 10 grand with a branding agency on what the brand's gonna look like, it just fills me with dread, because every single penny should be going into building your product. Yep. And obviously I'm coming from a tech startup context here. But yeah, that's continues to be something that happens all the time. The brand will change later on. The first version should look, it's a massive cliche, but you really should be embarrassed about it when you launch it. If it is a cliche, but it's a really good cliche. And if you're not, then you have launched too late.
Yeah.
So that's one mistake. It's
so easy to get stuck on that, how it looks. And also there's such a thrill about talking about your business.
Yeah. And
then being able to show people. And you're never really going to show people lines of code or kind of projections. You're going to show them the brand and the website and the story.
Yeah, but you know, I think it is that pride thing. You don't want to show to your friends and family, this is what I've been working on, and it looks a bit crap. But you should do, because that's how you build a successful company. You build something a bit crap to start with, and then you tweak it from there. And then I think the second huge mistake that I see is just building in silo. So what I did at a previous company with the online retail company, just having an idea, spending a few weeks building it, launching it, realizing nobody wants it. I see that all the time. People people obsessed with like this stealth mode. When someone says they're in stealth mode, I just switch off.
Roll your eyes.
I just switch off, because just think it's just not, I just think, you know, share as much as possible, get something as quick and as scrappy as possible to market as quickly as possible. And see whether you've got a business or not. Yeah. So going into a silo for like months on end, building something, I guarantee when you launch it, people won't use it the way you expect them to use it. So I just see so much money get wasted. I've seen people spend like hundreds of thousands of pounds building something, launching it, and then being surprised that people don't want to use it the way that they want to use it. You know, with the way technology is today, you can build something now for tens of thousands of pounds that used to cost, you know, almost £1 million. It's like, so you can make like smaller tests now.
It's all really interesting. Does anything else come to mind? First time founder mistakes?
I think founder bias is massive. So
in terms of who they hire?
No, in terms of they think their idea is great. And it's a similar thing to being in a silo, but it is a bit different. They're almost scared to get feedback on it, because they're scared of the feedback. I see this a lot. And a founder will go, I'm not going to share it because the product's not finished yet. And because the product's not finished yet, they're not going to be giving feedback on the right thing. Yeah. But it's very rare that that's the case. And the bad feedback is good. You need that bad feedback as early as possible so that you can pivot and you can change and tweak. There's usually something once you get going, especially if you're a domain expert and you know your industry inside out and you've spotted the problem, there's usually something there. So just building something as quickly as possible and testing that as quickly as possible, I think is the key. I
think there's a link there from the business that somebody's actually building and their identity. Yeah. Like for me, I'm so guilty of this. Yeah. Like, wow, as a business is like me, or like I am the business. So when the business is going really well, my life seems to be going really well. Yeah. When it's not going as well, I'm like, shit, why is everything wrong? Yeah. And you know, it's so easy to lose sight of the fact that there is a whole life around me that I have, but I'm just prioritizing this one thing. Yeah. So do you think that, you know, plays into it? Is that a trap that founders fall into as well, having their business as their entire life and identity?
I think so, yeah. I think it is your identity as a founder. Maybe less so when you become super successful and you can, I don't know, have your personal things that you're doing, like charities and stuff like that. But I think when you're building a business and it's pretty much, you know, it's the founder, when do you not think about it? Think about it all the time, right?
Dream about it. Have nightmares about it.
But you do. You don't ever switch off.
Yeah.
So it's something that's that important to you. So it's hard as a founder to sometimes get in your head that it's better just to get something scrappy and not spend loads of money on what it looks like. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's a hard distinction sometimes.
From your experience, what do founders typically think the journey will be like versus what it actually is?
Build something, spend a few months building it, turn it to market, and everyone will want to buy it. Won't have to raise loads more money, or you know, we'll just get a load of revenue from the first product and the first iteration, their first idea. And I'm generalizing a bit. I'm sure they don't, but it feels that way. And the thing is, you've got to be confident, right, in your idea. But you need to acknowledge as a founder that you're going on a few years journey, and really you're not going to get to product market fit for usually 2 or 3 years if you're lucky.
Wow. And are there things that you hear when you speak to founders which just make you tune out? So you gave an example earlier, but like, you know, if a founder comes to you and says, oh, there's no one doing what we're doing, there's no competition, do you then just switch off?
No, I don't, because like I'm wrong loads of times as well. Mm-hmm. And same thing with the stealth thing. I'm sure there's some amazing companies that are in stealth at the moment that are in stealth for a reason, and they'll do really well. But just in general, I find that the opposite is true. Yeah, when a founder is like, there is nobody doing this, it's super unique. It's not like a switch off. It's just that our job is to challenge it.